The Oscars are almost here, and so it's time for me to give you my set of predictions on who all can and will win at this year's Oscars. As always, I'll talk about who I think has a chance of winning in almost each category and who I think can bring a tough fight. This time around, most of the categories are locked, but some are quite tight and tricky as there are clearly two nominees in these categories that are competing with each other for the top spot. It will nevertheless be a lot of fun to see who wins what, as there are some truly amazing films that are competing with each other despite some obvious snubs. Having said all of that, let's get going. Starting with the technical awards. For achievement in cinematography, my pick without any doubt is Hoyte van Hoytema for Oppenheimer. Hoyte van Hoytema is my favorite cinematographer working today. With each project he's worked on, his craft gets better and better, and what he's achieved in Oppenheimer is nothing short of masterful. When it comes to shooting on the IMAX format, no one does it better than this man. With this film, he has perfectly captured the epic nature of the story and has also fully succeeded in capturing the more intense and emotional moments of the story and its characters, and has flawlessly and effectively communicated Nolan's vision on the big screen. Seriously, watching this film in the IMAX 70mm format was an experience that I'll never forget. The fact that these guys helped create black and white IMAX film, a format that didn't exist before for those black and white sequences, alone should tell you how much attention and care has been given to each aspect, and the end result is just some of the most beautiful, memorable, and emotionally powerful imagery these eyes have ever seen. I'll be very happy to see Hoyte van Hoytema finally win for his work, as the man has been shockingly snubbed several times. He should have easily been nominated for and won for his work on films like Interstellar, Dunkirk, Ad Astra, Tenet, and most recently Nope, which I feel is one of the biggest snubs of all time. This man knows how to operate an IMAX camera and has helped in crafting some of the best and some of the most immersive big screen experiences of the last few years. Next up is visual effects, and this one's clearly between the creator and Godzilla Minus One. I'll be very happy to see any of the two win because both of them had truly incredible effects. Both films made smart and efficient use of CGI and effectively blended them with practical effects, leading to some stunning results. What's even more impressive is that they achieved such great results in such small budgets, setting a great example that a film doesn't need to have a bloated $200 million budget to be visually stunning or epic. It can be done in much smaller budgets too. Both films achieve what they set out to do without sacrificing the scale, quality, and ambition of their crafts. It's smart filmmaking from start to finish that major studios should actually study and learn from to better allocate their budgets and resources. My pick, however, is Godzilla Minus One. I feel it has a slightly higher chance of winning, even though the contest is very close. I do feel though that Napoleon can be a surprise winner too, cause say what you want to about that film, but one can't deny how visually stunning and epic those battle sequences looked on the big screen. Also, it's great to see a Mission Impossible film finally getting recognized in the technical categories. Next up is film editing, and my pick without any doubt is Jennifer Lane for Oppenheimer. One of the biggest strengths of Oppenheimer is its incredibly strong editing. This is a 3-hour, dense, complex dialogue heavy film that never lost me. This is easily one of the most engaging films that I've ever seen. It's so relentless and fast paced that the 3 hours just fly by. And all of that's because of how incredibly well cut this film is. The editing really maintains that sense of urgency throughout and also helps create the right amount of suspense, mystery, tension, fear, and intrigue by slowing things down at crucial points, because of which you truly feel the set of emotions. The way certain sequences are cut result in some truly powerful and even terrifying moments that will surely stay with you for long. And most importantly, the editing succeeds at telling this complex, non-linear story with perfection, leading to an absolutely thrilling watch. Next up is sound, and while the competition is mainly between Oppenheimer and The Zone of Interest, my pick is Oppenheimer. Both films use sound in very interesting and experimental ways to tell their stories, and both films very much rely on their sound design to pull the audiences in and make them feel the intensity and the horror of their worlds, as both films deal with horrific historical events that left a huge mark on the world. Oppenheimer takes a more bombastic, visceral, loud, and hard-hitting approach, whereas The Zone of Interest has a more experimental approach with two stories playing out, one that's in front of us and one that's playing out in the background, and the film makes the use of sound to tell that particular story. The result is a very effective and unsettling experience, as the different type of sounds we hear fully succeed at creating a truly haunting atmosphere. It's a tough fight, and honestly, both deserve to win. But the reason I choose Oppenheimer is because watching this film in theaters, especially in the IMAX format, truly makes you feel the intensity of what we are watching on screen and makes you feel the magnitude and weight of what's about to go down. Because when they test that bomb during the Trinity scene, the entire theater was rumbling. It was a moment that I'll never forget. It truly made me jump and left me in shock, and there are several moments like that in this film. Also, it's an experience that can't be fully put into words. One has to experience it to know what I'm trying to say here, and that comes by simply having watched this film in theaters, especially in the IMAX format. Next up is original score, and my pick without any doubt is Ludwig Göransson for Oppenheimer. One of the most important pieces of this amazing film is this truly magical score. There are a variety of emotions that the score effectively conveys. It's inspiring, suspenseful, somber, intense, experimental, bombastic. I can go on and on. The point is, the score is such an insane achievement that words aren't enough to fully describe it. One needs to truly experience it by simply watching this film. When we hear some of the pieces play out in the film specifically, can you hear the music, American Prometheus, Fusion and Destroyer of Worlds? The intensity, emotions and overall impact of those scenes is automatically amplified to another level. It's truly a one-of-a-kind experience. And besides all of that, it's just such a beautiful and unique score. I've been listening to this score non-stop and feel that Ludwig Göransson is an absolute genius who somehow managed to even top his previous work, that is Tenet, for which he was shockingly snubbed. For the next few categories, I'll try to keep it short. For original song, my pick is What Was I Made For from Barbie. For animated feature film, the competition is mainly between Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and The Boy and the Heron. And it's honestly a very tough one, but I'm gonna go with Across the Spider-Verse. Because honestly, this is not only one of the best sequels ever made, it's also one of the best films ever made. This was a shockingly good sequel that truly surpassed the first one in every department, be it the awesome animation or the story and characters that were taken in exciting and truly unpredictable directions. As someone who isn't all that crazy about the first film, Across the Spider-Verse truly blew me away and greatly exceeded my expectations. If the first one can win in this category, then Across the Spider-Verse is even more deserving. For international feature film, my pick is The Zone of Interest, a highly unique, experimental, and deeply haunting and unsettling look at one of the most horrifying and sickening historical events of all time. This is a film that stayed with me for days, and it fully deserves to be recognized and awarded for its craft that left a huge impact on me. For production design and costume design, the competition is mainly between Barbie and Poor Things, and while any of the two can win here, my pick for both the categories is Barbie. For makeup and hairstyling, my pick is Maestro. Poor Things can win here too, but I feel the transformation that Bradley Cooper has gone through, not only performance wise, but also appearance wise, is just amazing and fully deserves to win. Next up is adapted screenplay, and my pick here is American Fiction. Personally, I really want Oppenheimer to win here simply because this is one of the best screenplays there is. The dialogue is quick, smart, intense, and intelligent. The complex non-linear structure makes things very interesting and engaging, and even challenging, but in a good way. The writing fully succeeded at creating this sense of fear and urgency around these historical events, and also made me feel fully involved in the politics that surrounded it. The only thing that didn't work for me at all was a subplot that brought with it some highly forced, random, and unnecessary scenes that got it the R rating. It really took me out of the film and could have easily been avoided and just implied rather than going full blown in your face. Thankfully, the rest of the film is so brilliantly written and executed that this just comes off as a minor complaint. American Fiction, on the other hand, is a very smart, extremely funny, and at times sharply written commentary on racial stereotypes and how our modern society interacts with this subject. It's also an emotional family drama that deals with some serious and relevant issues that a lot of families face. My only real complaint with this film is that it does feel like two different films at times. One is a writer in a dilemma, and the other one is this emotional but slightly familiar family drama. The former is the main selling point, and whenever the film focuses on that, it's at its best. The family drama is pretty solid too, but it's something we have seen done in other films too. It's a mostly funny and pretty emotional film that works for the most part, but does end up feeling like it's holding back and doesn't fully know what it wants to be. Given how it's been winning almost everywhere, I feel it has a strong chance of winning here too, and so my pick is American Fiction. Next up is original screenplay, and my pick is Anatomy of a Fall. Personally, I would have wanted Past Lives or The Holdovers to win here mainly because I felt a lot more emotionally invested in those films. I could deeply connect with the characters there, and just overall, those films had more of an impact on me. Anatomy of a Fall, however, has a pretty solid screenplay too. It's a very dense, dialogue heavy courtroom drama that goes into extreme detail about how courtroom proceedings play out. I was engaged and invested throughout, although certain sequences feel a bit too stretched and they could have been slightly trimmed down. There are, however, a lot of amazing sequences of dialogue, and the back and forth is pretty riveting to watch. So, yeah, my pick would be Anatomy of a Fall. Next up is supporting actress and supporting actor. Both are honestly a lock, so I'll just state my picks. For supporting actress, my pick is Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. An incredibly emotional and believable performance that feels very authentic and lived in, making her highly deserving of this award. For supporting actor, my pick is Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. Out of the many solid performances in Oppenheimer, there were some obvious standouts, Robert Downey Jr. being one of them. He fully disappeared into the role and showed such incredible range as an actor, letting people know that he's much more than just Tony Stark and Iron Man. He's an amazing actor too. Sadly, a lot of people don't recognize and respect that because a lot of people just can't see past their comic book characters. And so this incredibly subtle and also kind of unpredictable performance is not only a solid example of how good of an actor he is, but is also a display of pure artistry that makes this already amazing material that is Oppenheimer's script even better. To understand the last part, you simply have to see the film and its performance. Next up is leading actress, and this is honestly the toughest one to pick as the competition is clearly between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. Literally, any of the two can win here. My pick, however, is Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, I haven't seen Poor Things and will probably never even watch that film, so I can't say much about Emma Stone's performance except that it has a high chance of winning here in this category. What I'll talk about though is Lily Gladstone's performance. This is a tragic, devastating, and truly heartbreaking performance that gave this already amazing film a necessary layer of emotion. When a single performance is able to make you feel what an entire community felt, then I feel that performance is doing something truly monumental and important. Also, when you're performing alongside legendary actors like Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, and you are the standout, then you have more than succeeded at your work. She truly is the heart and the soul of this film, and she flawlessly conveyed the pain and emotions the people of the Osage community felt when these horrific acts of violence were committed against them. To truly understand this performance, you must see Killers of the Flower Moon. Sure, it's long, but it's worth it. It's extremely well made and tells an incredibly important story under the direction of the legendary Martin Scorsese. Next up is lead actor, and my pick without any doubt is Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. It's really great to see Cillian Murphy lead a Christopher Nolan film front and center and get to display his acting craft, and what a career-defining performance this is. This is easily one of the best performances I've ever seen due to several reasons. Firstly, his commitment towards the role, especially in terms of the physical appearance and mannerisms, is nothing short of mind-blowing. He fully disappears into the role, and his acting abilities go way beyond just saying the dialogues. His body language, expressions, and his eyes especially emote so much of what the character is feeling, making for some truly captivating and hard-hitting sequences, even in the quieter moments of the film. It will truly haunt you and leave you thinking for days. Another reason why this is such an incredible performance is because headlining a film this big and massive in scale can be a daunting task, but Cillian Murphy, like I said, leads front and center and makes the intense and epic nature of the film feel even more effective. Again, if you've seen this film, you know what I'm talking about. And finally, playing such a well-known historical figure who was part of something so devastating and monumental that basically changed the world requires a level of believability and display of a variety of emotions, given how flawed and even controversial this man was, and Murphy just excels in every department. Next up is directing, and my pick without any doubt is Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. It's kind of shocking and laughable that the man has still not won an Oscar, something which he should have easily won when he was nominated for his screenplays for Memento and Inception, both insanely original and genius films. When we look at this man's filmography, he has consistently delivered complex, intelligent, and high quality cinematic experiences. He has always attempted to push the boundaries when it comes to filmmaking and storytelling, and with Oppenheimer, he and his team have crafted the greatest and the most important film of our time, and I say this with all seriousness. Simply put, this is a truly mind-blowing achievement in filmmaking where filmmaking has been taken to the next level. The way elements like editing, sound, music and non-linear storytelling have been employed here is something I've never seen done in a film before. All these elements along with the incredible acting, amazing visuals and highly impressive attention to detail help create an intense, epic and at times horrifying experience. And all of this is under the brilliant direction of Christopher Nolan. I also feel this is the film that fully deserves to and will win Best Picture because of how important and urgent it is for the times we live in. The story it's telling here is very timely and relevant given the current state of the world. We are living in truly dangerous and uncertain times, and this film attempts to, and more than succeeds at highlighting the dangers of war, particularly nuclear war, and what it can lead to. A film like Oppenheimer is not only very inspiring when it comes to its filmmaking and craft, but is also a very important one for what it's trying to convey through its story and craft. This is a rare combination that this film fully succeeds at achieving, and this is why it's my pick for Best Picture. I can praise this film for hours and hours because this film truly shook me to the core and left me so inspired that I kept revisiting it. I've seen this film 10 times now in theatres, 5 of them being in the IMAX format. I've never seen a film that many times in theatres before. That alone should tell you how much I admire and respect this film. Christopher Nolan's work has inspired me before and it continues to greatly inspire me even today. And with Oppenheimer, I believe I've seen the greatest film of all time and I truly believe that it'll stay on that spot for a really long time. Consider this video to be a review of sorts for Oppenheimer and my attempt at telling those who still haven't seen this film to go check it out. I mean, if you still haven't seen this film, especially in theaters, then I truly feel you are missing out on something truly special and rare. So those are my predictions. Do let me know who you think has a chance of winning in the comments below. As always, thank you guys for watching my video and I hope you enjoyed. If yes, please like the video, and if you want to see more, then hit subscribe. Till then, peace out.